But we start at Royal Portrush with just one day to go before the first round at the Open. Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler among the players who've been putting their finishing touches on the preparations today. And for the latest, we can join Jamie Weir. Jamie.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gail. Good afternoon to you from gloriously sunny Royal Portrush. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday we had 4 layers on here, but today it is cracking flags, blue sky, sun shining. We hope it's going to be like this for all 4 days of the tournament. I think that might be optimistic. Andrew Coltart is alongside me. And Andrew, we're going to get into this, but a real sort of theme that is developed after a fascinating press conference from the world number 1 yesterday, Scottie Scheffler, was just finding that motivation, and it's something that Xander Schauffele has addressed as well, that JJ Spaun, the most recent major champion, has addressed, and that Rory McIlroy addressed when he spoke at the US Open just a few weeks ago. Let's first of all hear what all those guys had to say.
I think I've always been a player that struggles to play after a big event. You know, after I win whatever tournament, I always struggle to show up with motivation the next week, because you've just accomplished something and you want to enjoy it, and you want to, you know, sort of relish the fact that you've achieved a goal.
We work so hard for such little moments, and you know, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point.
You do have these high aspirations, these dreams to accomplish things in golf at the highest level, and then you do, and it happens so quick, and then you're so elated, and then all of a sudden it's like, now what?
What is the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly?
Including the gold medal?
I actually have no idea where that is, to be completely honest.
It's great to know.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
What am I going to do with it? I don't really invite people over to my house, so what am I just like go look at it myself? Like, oh, yeah.
This is not the most important thing in my life, and that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, you know, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer.
Yeah, just absolutely fascinating hearing from the world number 1 yesterday. It was an incredible press conference. Everybody in the media centre after it was thinking, you know, it's just how incredibly frank and open and honest he was. That sort of existential question, what is the point? And Andrew, is that something that you can kind of relate with? That you work so hard and you pour your blood, sweat and tears into this career, and then, okay, you get that fleeting moment of glory when you win a tournament, and then you kind of afterwards wonder, well, what was the point of it all?
Well, it's interesting because we've never really thought about it from that perspective before, have we? I thought it was really interesting because it introduced the human element to it. We're so used to seeing these specimens go about their business in an unbelievable manner, you know, at such top quality, week in, week out, that you forget ultimately that they have a life outside of the game, and they are humans. And for him to come across and say that wasn't where the satisfaction was coming from, I thought was really, really interesting. Yes, how quickly things move on after this week. It's like, right, what about the FedEx Cup? And he's like, whoa, hang on a second.
Let me enjoy this.
What must it be like for somebody? I always had those dreams and aspirations, so therefore I would always want it, but never having got there. To hear somebody who has got to that, to just think, right, what happens now? I guess I can understand what that must be like. A dream fulfilled.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's, in a way, partly his superpower, Scottie Scheffler, as well. His 15th club is his mentality and his ability to compartmentalize. It's just golf at the end of the day. You know, it's not life and death. I've got my little boy, I've got my wife, and that's far more important to me. And that maybe is what gives him that extra club out on the golf course.
Yeah, funny, that's what I was thinking as well. There's not the pressure. Now, of course, you're going to see that with all the money, the adulation, all the perks that come with it. But there's no doubt having that sort of perspective and that attitude towards it can allow, when he feels it, can allow him to go out there and play. But the interesting thing is you've got to have that buzz. You've got to be nervous. You've got to be excited. You've got to want to beat everybody that's out there. But if you possess that, then goodness me, it makes it a lot easier for him to go about his business.
I'm sure Rory McIlroy will have watched that answer from Scottie Scheffler yesterday, and I'm sure so much of it will have rung true for him as well. And look, I've been guilty of this. The morning after the Masters, we're looking ahead to the PGA Championship, talking about, oh look, Quail Hollow, it sits him down to the ground. What are his chances of another major? Just let me enjoy this one first. And for Rory, you know, we thought that the Masters would be a release of pressure, he'd be able to kick on and freewheel. Instead, we've seen the opposite, that he struggled to find that motivation, that reason to keep going. He seems a much happy camper back here this week.
Yeah, I think spot on again. Totally concur with everything you said there. I think he was getting a little bit tired of life on the PGA Tour.
Yes.
After a long haul, tired of the same questions, perhaps. Again, an achievement, incredible achievement that it is fulfilled into the legendary halls of the Grand Slam champions. And again, we forgot about the human side of it and what impact that must have. And you saw the body language was just a little deflated. Having said that, now he's come over to this side of the pond. He's back home this week. There's a perk in his stride
rejuvenated,
again. Yeah, and you can see that. And I think he's also got a bit of unfinished business after what happened to him in 2019. He felt he didn't just let himself down. He let down, the whole of the island of Ireland and all the expectations that the Europeans have had of him. So I think fueled with the good performance last week, albeit they didn't win, I think he's definitely going to be at the top there come the end.
And it's interesting, I don't think he was mentally prepared for 2019. I don't think he knew how to deal with it, and he'll openly admit that as well. He'll be stronger for that experience. And 6 years ago, he tried to sort of block it all out. This time, I think he's embracing it. He's embracing the love from the galleries this time.
Yeah, there's no doubt he can feel that. Goodness me, when he was in Augusta playing against Bryson DeChambeau in the last round, even the American galleries, were helping him along. Obviously, that's going to happen again here. I think he was under enormous pressure last time in 2019. That weight of expectation. We've been back here for the first time in decades, and it just got to him a little bit. But now, a lot more comfortable, armed with the fact that he's got where he's always wanted to achieve. That dream is fulfilled, and just that little lull over the last 2 months, I think that's going to help him and inspire him this week.
We speak so much about Scottie and Rory, but outside of those two, who are you keen to keep an eye on this week? Who do you think could be lifting that claret job?
Oh, well, not far down the coast here. John Ram was quite successful. He likes it very much in this part of the world. 3 top 10s in his last 4 out of the last 4 major championships. So that says guy's very, very comfortable, obviously, with links golf. He's played very well over there in the live circuit this year. You've got to have an eye on him in the data golf rankings. I think he's number 2 or 3 in the world. So that gives you an idea really where he's playing. I also like the big Austrian Sepp Straka. He's growing on me week in, week out. Big in stature, but a golf game that's getting bigger and better almost every single week. He's already finished runner-up in this great championship a couple of years ago. And the game that he possesses, getting it in the fairway, getting in the greens here, I think is going to be crucial.
I'll tell you what, John Ram's pretty relaxed as well, because we were in the Harbour Bar last night.
No,
obviously I was just on the
research,
sparkling water, obviously. But I was with the golf.com gang. If you've got your Instagram open, go and look on golf.com. There's a cracking photo. 3 of them are posing for a photo, and it was photobombed by John Ram, just going like this at the last minute. So he's obviously feeling pretty relaxed, John, in the Harbour Bar last night, embracing the Port Rush lifestyle as well.
I think that's great. I think that's an aspect that you don't see of the players. You see them in their office, and show me anybody that's laughing and joking in their office when they've got serious business to attend to. But outside of that, if you can see them just letting their hair down, so to speak, it's great. It's great to see. And you could also see the other golf fans in the background sort of pointing and saying, look at that, it's good that he's out there enjoying himself.
Exactly.
And why wouldn't you over here, though?
Exactly. Well, Monday and Tuesday is kind of for enjoying yourselves. There's a bit more game faces on today as they put those final bits of preparation before the serious business gets underway tomorrow. It is a glorious day here at Royal Port Rush, Gail. I'm not sure we're going to get quite the same once the tournament kicks off at 6:35 a.m. when Padraig Harrington hits that opening tee shot behind us here tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much, and it's good to know that you're taking your research very, very seriously, Jamie Weir. Right, not long to go then until the action gets underway. Live coverage of the opening rounds of the Open starts, as you heard from Jamie, 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Set those alarm clocks.